Goodbye, Jerko. Thank you. What up, guys? Glad to see you back on the channel once again. So, a little while back, pretty short actually time ago, I showed you guys this thing called the Retrocade, and it was pretty cool. I mean, it's made by a company called Retrobit, and that particular unit I actually liked for the price range that it was in. You got like 90 games. They were all old school, retro type of stuff, a lot of different varieties, and I kind of thought that was pretty cool for what it was. So I said, hey, do you guys have anything else we can check out? So Retrobit sent me something else. I don't know if that came out right. Retrobit sent me something else. That's right here. Super RetroTRIO 3 Plus. Okay, now this is supposed to play all of your old school cartridges. So right off the bat, I want to say if you're a person out there and you have a lot of older cartridges, this is probably going to be a cool thing for you, because not only can you play all your old games on it, in the front of the unit, it actually has room to plug in all the old school controllers. So if you have the old school controllers for either your Genesis, for your Super NES, or your NES, they're all located on the front. Now in the rear, it's pretty simple. You have HDMI, USB for your power plug, and then an RCA, and that's all there really is. And this particular machine uses cartridges. So when I got it, there were absolutely no games installed whatsoever. So right off the bat, I know what this is geared for. I think that's kind of a strike one, in my opinion, and just kind of a way, if you want to be honest, because even though it does play all of these Super Nintendo games and Genesis games and all that stuff, why didn't they just install some games on it? I mean, you could have put those 90 games that were on the Retrocade on here, and I just thought that was pretty cool. Now, they were cool with me. They sent me a couple cartridges to play with. I got the All-Star Collection. This one's Data East. This one's also another one from this one's Data East as well. It's the Classic Collection. Now between these actual two right here, though, there's just not that many games whatsoever. So if you were going to buy cartridges from these guys, you'd be buying a whole bunch of cartridges just to get the 90 games that you got on the Retrocade, right? I mean, the Retrocade, you got 90 games to play. I guess specifically if there are games you actually, you hate them. You remember, and you're like, I hate that game. I don't want to play it ever again. Damn you, Elder, can remind me of when I got mad, I wanted to destroy it. But, not all games are like that. But, there are some games that frustrate the hell out of me back in the day. Let me tell you, not all were as fun as they were labeled to be. No!
That was so close.
So I guess in that respect, it's kind of cool because you can choose whatever games you want. But to me, the best thing about this is if you have those extra cartridges from the old days and a lot of those machines are old, they're not working very much, then sure, this is a pretty cool thing. I think it comes to market about like 80 bucks. I think it's about the maximum we saw it sell for. Probably you can get it cheaper if you search on Amazon and stuff, but strike two on this thing. And this is where, to me, it just gets like, I don't really get it. Strike two on this particular machine is when I'm playing the games on this, most of the time, when I'm trying to get out of the game, the system doesn't allow me to. It just keeps restarting the game over and over and over and over and over. Maybe some of you guys own one of these. You can let me know, hey, you're crazy. It does this. But for me, I'm pushing both the buttons at the same time, which would take me out of the game. It never takes me out of the game. It just takes me back into the game. I've tried pressing all the other buttons and nothing ever happens. Hey, I may be doing something wrong. I don't think so. But to me, that's really weird. And then once in a while, which is where I think is strike number three, is that sometimes the controls don't seem like they're working right. Like the response time on the controls doesn't seem like it's accurate to what the gameplay is. There's certain games where I'm trying to do things and I'm like, hey, wait, I'm doing that, but all of a sudden I'm dead, and I'm like, what the heck? That's really weird. So even though I think that these guys had a really, really good idea with this product. Now, I don't have any old cartridges whatsoever. I'll be honest with you. If I did, I would have tested them and tested those controllers and let you know if I had a different experience. Because maybe it's something to do with the controllers. Maybe that's why I can't get out of the games, But, and even worse is very rarely, though, you'll get it where it just freezes up and you got to restart the entire thing again. So at the end of the day, if you're somebody actually looking to play a bunch of these retro games, you're better off getting the Retrocade because it just has 90 games. You can get more if you want. So I really like that. And they even have like a Retrocade, even a better version that you could get as well. For me personally, that's what I would want to get. Now, I know some people out there before said, hey, the best thing to do would be to go out and get a Raspberry Pi and build one. But here's my question to you. Say I build this Raspberry Pi device. What controllers am I actually going to be able to use with this Raspberry Pi? Sure, I understand the idea. The concept sounds badass. Yeah, awesome, cheap, easy. But what controllers can you actually use with the Raspberry Pi? Can you use any of the old school controllers? Can you use a Super NES controller? Can you use the brand new Xbox controllers? I mean, what controllers can you actually use with the Raspberry Pi? So like always, I want to know your guys' thoughts down below. So at the end of the day, the only reason that I would see to buy this machine is, like I said, if you have a lot of games from the past that you want to play, you don't have a machine to play them in, you'd still like to screw around and have fun, hey, it's good to go. I mean, even though you have to restart a lot of times to get out of the game, it's really not that big of a deal. So I mean, if you're sitting there playing a game for 15 or 20 minutes with a friend of yours and you got to go restart, I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's just kind of a pain in the butt. The freezing was very rare. I'm going to say it's random. That didn't happen very often. You know what I mean? And the control on the stick, I mean, in some games it works just fine, but on some it just seemed a little laggy. Not the end of the world. So I'm Eric. You guys have been watching Tech and Tomorrow. We'll have a link down below if you guys want to check out more about the system for yourself, and we'll see you guys back on the channel for more tech.